The Central Asian Report is a program about the ongoing geopolitical trends and the panorama of the present-day realities in Central Asia.
Politics, economics and culture, events, trends and people. All this on one territory. Hello, you're watching the Central Asian Report in today's program.
Смотрите сегодня в нашем выпуске.
A common task, the TIKA program in Central Asia. Patrol police, guardians of the law in Kyrgyzstan. The wives of Tajik labor migrant men. A portrait of a Kazakhstani runologist.
А прямо сейчас Центральная Азия.
And coming right up, headlines from Central Asia. In the upcoming 10 years, the area of the high mountain ice caps of the Tanshan Mountains on the territory of Kyrgyzstan may decrease by 40%. This may lead to a fall in the water level of Central Asian lakes by more than a fourth. This was announced by the country's president, Almazbek Atambayev. According to one of the grim yet fully realistic forecasts, by 2100 all ice caps of Kyrgyzstan will disappear completely. In order to prevent the situation, the country's authorities are planning to introduce tougher measures of environmental security and to stimulate the development of the green economy in the upcoming years. Tajikistan's fruit and vegetable produce will substitute Turkish products on Russian markets. Talks regarding this issue were held in Moscow at the Embassy of Tajikistan. As a result of the meeting, the prospects of developing the wholesale distribution bases in the Central Asian country, delivery of agricultural products from local producers, and other issues that are of mutual interest for both countries were discussed. The concrete volumes of products imported from Tajikistan and their range are still being determined.
Таджикских товаров, а также их ассортимент пока уточняются.
Despite the multi-vector foreign policy which has been chosen by the majority of the countries of the Central Asian region, they're all still part of the greater Turkic world. And on this plane, collaboration is just as active as with the strategic partners from the east or the west. Our correspondent in Ankara brings us the report on the cooperation, which is predicated upon the common historical past.
Нашего собственного корреспондента в Анкаре.
Near an excavation site, the scholar Zeynullah Samashev demonstrates the latest findings. This is the burial ground of a Turkic warrior. It is one of the 4 burial ground complexes that were discovered by archaeologists in the Karakaba plain in the East Kazakhstan region.
Бұл жердің ең негізгі қасиеті бұл теңіз деңгейінен 1750
This valley is a unique historical and archaeological site. It is located 1,750 meters above sea level. In 2006, when we began excavation in this area, we found around 60 burial mounds. We determined that this connected with the people who lived here in the early Turkic era, as well as before the appearance of Turkic people here.
орналасу бұл ескерткіштердің біз үшін маңызы аса зор.
A big delegation of the Turkish International Cooperation and Development Agency arrived at the excavation site in the Karabakh Plain. The agency also supported the conduct of research in this area.
Burada da Kazakistan'da da geçen senelerde
We have a lot of partner project actor countries of Central Asia in the sphere of archaeology. This is because we share a common history and are interested in the discovery of our common cultural heritage sites. For example, we studied the burial ground of Sultan Ali Arslan in Turkmenistan and the archaeological and ethnographic complex Kumay in Kazakhstan.
önemli denebilecek geçen sene buluntular bulunmuştu.
TIKA is actively cooperating with the countries of the Central Asian region, but not only in the field of archaeology. This organization was established 24 years ago for uniting Turkic countries and defending their interests on the global arena. Throughout this period, thousands of projects were realized in the spheres of education, healthcare, economy, and culture. In addition to their project activities, TIKA is actively collaborating with Turksoy, the international organization of Turkic culture. All the countries of Central Asia are its currently active members.
TIKA günümüzde faaliyet sahası Afrika'yı, Latin Amerika'yı.
The work of TIKA, just like the work of Turksoy, aimed at the proliferation of the cultural values of Turkic peoples, goes beyond the boundaries of the Turkic world and covers, for example, the countries of Africa and Latin America. TIKA and Turksoy are partner organizations. Many projects of Turksoy were realized thanks to the financial support from TIKA.
Fas'ta pek çok yerde faaliyet gösteriyor Türk kültürünün tanıtılması doğrultusunda.
Only last year, TIKA spent almost $3.5 billion on the realization of its projects. What's more, in different countries, the agency sets different priorities for their programs. For example, in Kazakhstan, a close cooperation was established in the sphere of education. Kazakhstan's medical professionals, law enforcement officers, and legal professionals are regularly participating in internships in Turkey.
Дорожно-постовой службы в Кыргызстане.
The road and customs post services of Kyrgyzstan will cease its existence along with the patrol post services. And this is not because there is a low level of crime or violations in the country. From the beginning of next year, the country's law and order will be protected by a new and specialized force. Our correspondent from Bishkek brings us the report on this change in law enforcement responsibilities.
Нашего бишкекского корреспондента.
Checking documents, the car, and a chat with the driver. Along with the usual highway patrol services, there are also armed men. This new group of road patrol and bystanding armed law enforcers are now called the patrol police. In the city, they can be seen more often at night. And if you're stopped, then a simple document check will not suffice.
В первую очередь мы обращаем внимание на оружие, на...
First and foremost, we check for arms, psychotropic and narcotic substances. Then we check the salon of the car, check if it's a suspicious person, matching the database that we have on our district and across the city. Then we have a discussion with the person.
На ориентировках, во всех ориентировках, которые по нашему району и по городу Бишкек.
The patrol police has been working in a trial regime in the city of Bishkek and its surroundings for quite some time. The first 60 dispatches were formed more than half a year ago. By the end of 2015, they will be instituted officially by law, and their numbers in the city are promised to be increased significantly. They will have 3 shifts, to not only monitor traffic accidents, but to also conduct investigation of new crimes that take place in the city, as well as respond to emergency calls. For example, if there is a fight or a robbery, the patrol cars that are the closest to the incident arrive to the scene and begin the investigation following the fresh leads. If there was a road traffic accident and the driver responsible flees the scene, then the city is immediately cordoned off and the driver of the car is detained. According to the heads of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Road and Foot Patrol Police Service, while working separately, have been falling short of expectations for a long time. According to the conducted analysis, the patrol police services have shown a low rate of preventing or solving crime cases. In essence, the main function of the foot patrol is to create a general atmosphere of protection and order. However, the opinion of the Ministry of Internal Affairs is that to have a single unit for this is not enough.
Почему человек, почему гражданин может чувствовать себя небезопасно?
Why would a person or a citizen not feel safe while walking home on the street? Perhaps because there's no street lighting. It is dark. Women may not feel safe. Someone may jump out of the dark, grab the bag and cause injury. And there are simply not enough police officers to walk every citizen home.
Из-за угла несознательный элемент выскочит, вырвет сумку, ударит по голове. Но не может сотрудник милиции, нас просто не хватит, чтобы каждого гражданина проводить от остановки до дома.
Overall, experts and civil activists support the idea, although with some skepticism. There is the worry that the overall situation will not change. They will just change the name, the badge, and something else. But this will not change anything because the heads and inspectors are all the same, and everything will work according to the same scheme, just under a different name and through different mechanisms. According to the administration of Kyrgyzstan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, only the first stage of the realization of this project will require $6 million. This amount will be needed for purchasing cars, navigators, and other equipment. More personnel will need to be hired. Concerning the road patrol service, the majority of their responsibilities will be transferred to other entities. For example, investigating cases of car theft will be the responsibility of the Criminal Investigation Department. The husband goes to Tver and his wife to the fields. This is how the majority of Tajik married couples organize their livelihood. According to official data, around 1.5 million labor migrants from Tajikistan are currently working in Russia. Our correspondent from Dushanbe brings us the story of how the women live after their husbands leave abroad for work.
Коллеги.
This is a town in Tajikistan, and there are thousands just like it. Here, every family knows each other. In one house, wedding celebrations are about to be held. In another, the family is sending their son off to the army. But there is something that unites many women in this town: a life without their husbands. For Saudat, each new day is like the previous day. She wakes up before dawn to prepare the breakfast for her 7 children and to milk the cow. After an hour, she heads out to the fields. She returns after dark, and this every day. The woman has already gotten used to this regime. My husband left for Russia 11 years ago. Since then, I've been managing the household on my own. It is not hard because my children and in-laws help. Saudat works in the field not far from the house. It is today that there's a hectare of land. 3 years ago, the field area was only 50 decars. Saudat expands the field every year because it is this plot of land which helps her feed the entire family. With effort, one can turn anything to a revenue-generating enterprise. This is well known in this town. After her husband left for work to Russia, Nargis Baboyeva found a sewing machine and remembered what her grandmother had taught her. She began with simple dresses and learned how to make complex traditional designs. Today, this small room looks like a real clothes parlor. Nargis has her own student followers, and the orders never stop coming. There are always many people who want to have a traditionally designed dress. I'm confident that I will not be left without work, and this does not depend on where my husband is, here or in Russia. In this town, the women try to make the most of every free minute. Gulnora lives in a neighboring house next to Nargis. Next to her house, she built greenhouses, planted tomatoes and Bulgarian peppers. Like many other women, in addition to the food from her own plots of land, she receives support from her husband. Every month, he sends money from Russia. I have a big family. 4 of my children are already married. My husband works in construction in Russia. Of course, he helps, but I always work tirelessly. The harvest that I collect in the field, I sell on the market and receive decent earnings for it. Sewing, field work, and custom-made goods. There are plenty of opportunities for finding work in the town. And in the evening, house chores await the women at home. They feed the family, keep the house in order, because tomorrow is another working day that starts at dawn. And now's the time for a special edition of Faces of Central Asia. Our today's hero is a scholar of a very rare specialization. For someone, these are just scribbles in the forms of sticks and circles, but the resident of the city of Turkestan, Orhan Bekşan, uncovers the historical past through these signs. This is his job, to decode archaic texts that were written using an ancient runic alphabet.
В средней школе я увлекался с историей казахского народа и начал.
I was interested in the history of Kazakh people. I started reading all the books on this topic, and then in the journals and newspapers I saw these unusual signs, and as a result I discovered that they represent a runic alphabet.
В газетах были такие непонятные такие знаки, которые впоследствии я знал, что это рунические алфавиты.
In order to understand the ancient writers, Orhan Bey learned Arabic and a couple of Turkic languages. He defended his PhD candidate thesis, and still at times he spends years trying to reveal the meaning of the mysterious runic text that consists of just a couple of lines.
Самые первые научные труды.
My first scholarly work was decoding the Issyk written works.
Исыкского письма было у меня.
To this day, the scholar has decoded around 100 pages of text found not far from the city of Issyk, and he has reached conclusions which may change our perceptions about the ancient Turkic script.
Раньше считали все ученые, что только древнетюркский.
Before, scholars believed that the ancient Turkic writing began in the 8th century, and I'm reaching the conclusion that its roots go back to the 4th century BC.
С 4 века до нашей эры.
However, the scholar considers his main work to be the study of the Orhon inscriptions of the Kultigin, Bilge Khagan, and Tonyukuk. For this research, he was offered a grant. It turns out that the meaning of these texts has not yet been completely revealed.
Моя мечта есть, конечно. I
have a dream of studying all these inscriptions, the ones that were found in Mongolia and in the city of Issyk, to reveal the authentic text.
Все изучать и недостатки все это найти, и чтобы показать подлинник.
There are only 2 runologists in Kazakhstan, and Orhan Bey is one of them. Therefore, he does not fear to be left out of a job because there are more than enough runic secrets and mysteries to last for his lifetime.
На этом все.
You're watching the Central Asian Report. Until next time on Kazakh TV.
И Казах ТВ.